Hello, cryptocurrency traders. It's Josh Wally checking in with the Kings of Crypto. So today we're going to do a brief technical analysis update on Bitcoin/USD using the Coinbase chart. I actually want to go ahead and break down and explain why these pivots are marked the way that they are. I think a lot of you guys might be able to get some good insight from this knowledge. So basically what I'm looking at right now is whether or not we are going to confirm that we have broken above this downtrend, or if we are going to fall back below this downtrend. So what I'm talking about is right here. We're dealing with it right now. This would definitely be a good spot to get a long trade-off with a stop loss, perhaps under the 6670 region. Anything below 6670 to 6800 is going to be extremely bearish. And I would think that it's possible that we get a test of this ascending support down here around the 55 to 5600 area, depending how long it would take us to get down there. But anyways, what we're watching is right here. We want to see if we get confirmation of the breakout of this downtrend. You see this nice little wedge setup that we've had on the daily chart from this downtrend and this uptrend. We have not been able to hold this uptrend. You see we got kind of a nasty reaction in the market once we dropped back below here. Okay, anyway, so let's go ahead and get on to where our levels, these horizontal pivots come from and why we have them marked the way that we do. First off, the first thing that I had marked on my chart is the day that we broke over 10,000 US dollars, because this was basically what started all of the media hype craze and just the volume on this day and the significance of this day. The algorithms will pick up on this, and the smart money will look back to this day as kind of a measuring stick of where the market is now. So the first thing I do is I mark the high of that day, the closing price of that day, and the low of that day. Let me go ahead and delete a couple of these extra trends just so that you can kind of see the significance of what I'm talking about here. We'll go ahead and add those back on here in just a minute. Okay, so you see we got this nice bounce right off of this pivot here. We got pretty violent reaction once we dropped below, kind of rejected it, closed right on the trend, and once we broke above and closed above, we got the nice move up to this 11.8 pivot. This 11.8, or I guess 11.5 pivot was the high of day, the day that we broke over 10K. You can also see the closing price of the day we broke 10K. It was right around 10K, has also been of extreme significance since. So let me go ahead and undo deleting a couple of these trends. Okay, so then the next thing that I'm looking at is I am looking at this pivot down here at 3,000. I'm not sure if we will get down there, but for those of you guys that have heard Bitcoin's going back to 3,000, this is where it's coming from. We did retest this and bounce off of it, so I don't think necessarily that a retest of 3,000 is completely necessary, but we'll certainly see. The next thing I notice is this was our first extremely high volume day before the massive bull run started. So I went ahead and marked the high of this day. That would be at 3,900. I think we could get a possible retest of that in the future. We have not retested that level since we have broken above. So that's one of those cases where often you do head that way and get that retest. The next pivot I have marked would be from our high volume day. On the first day, we tested 20K, where really we only got this test on Coinbase. But you see that the technicals from this day still were relevant and significant in the future. You see the high of day was rejected in mid-December when we tried to test 20K again. when all the other exchanges caught up and were trading at that level as well. The closing price was right here at the 17.3 region, and you see we got a rejection of that level once we got the retest after we bounced off of the 10,700 area. Next, we had this huge high volume day. This was really an extremely bearish sign for Bitcoin. If you look at the volume, we just have not had that type of volume in years. And for the selling volume to outweigh even the most bullish volume of this entire massive bull run, that is just not what you want to see. This was basically the sign that the dump was beginning. The closing price of this day was right here at this 14,000 region. And you kind of see how that was significant through here. You get a bounce right off of here. You get a couple rejections and closes right on that pivot. So again, what we're watching for is Bitcoin right now. It's got this nice little descending wedge here on the daily chart. Are we going to confirm this downtrend? Are we going to break down below the downtrend and retest the 6670 pivot? Maybe 6800. I'll go ahead and mark this 6800 level, as it was kind of like the buffer if we did break above that 6670 pivot. But I'll go ahead and make this one black and a little bit thinner, as it's not going to be quite as significant as I believe the 6670 level is. So that's basically what we're going to be watching for. Might take a trade here if I start to like the price action I'm seeing. Currently, if you take a look at the 1 hour chart though, you just see mass amounts of bear volume. We had this nice bullish volume spike over here, but since we've kind of had some pretty nasty dumps, currently we're settling right on this descending resistance. It looks as if the price action is trying to basically confirm that trend as a breakout, but until we see some real volume, there's not really any type of confirmation there. I mean, it is a good thing to have a high volume pull into the pivot and that pivot hold. That means basically even during that volume surge, there was enough buyers at this level to hold the price up. So that's basically what we're watching now. It's Josh Wally with the Kings of Crypto, checking out.